What up, YouTube? It's your boy Banks, and we back in the building. You feel me? It's True Talks, cause True Talks. All right, let's get straight right into it. So you already know. Obviously, this was a whirlwind of a trade deadline. This is probably one of the most surprising, shocking trade deadlines that we've had in a while. Even though every trade deadline has been, there's been some names that has been moved, but the name that was moved this time was, for a lot of y'all, was unforeseeable. You know what I mean? A lot of y'all was like, what the hell was going on? Remember what I told you? I said, if y'all paid attention, if you didn't watch, go watch the Kyrie trade to Dallas, video that I previously, uploaded. But this is what I was trying to say. I was saying, like, listen, I don't expect the Nets to actually trade Kyrie, but then again, they lost their leverage, and it could be where the negotiation, like I was saying, was like they disrespected Kyrie. He's actually like, I'm out of here, yo. I'm done. And if they actually trade him, best believe KD is going to be gone, most likely to even Phoenix. And I said that at the end of the video. So, it's True Talks, because True Talks. When True Talks, you listen, fam. But at the end of the day, the point was that, like, yo, I've been telling y'all from time that there's something going on behind the scenes with the organization where obviously they're Katie and Kyrie are fed up with both of them, with the organization. Both of them are fed up, so they're felt disrespected or they're not granting their wishes and stuff like that. And it looks like there is a power trip. Like they're trying to forget what y'all say. We control X, Y, and Z. Where in most organizations, even though there is a structure going on, like even the Warriors, at the end of the day, what Steph says goes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just the nature of the business in terms of when you have superstars of this magnitude that bring in so much, they do so much, they're responsible for so much. The face, the magnitude, the media attention, the fan coverage, everything is attraction from this person's name. They deserve the power that they deserve in terms of the organization. How some use the power may be more skeptical than others, but for the most part, the power being in the player's hand, especially the star player's hand, it's rightfully so. Like I said, with Kyrie, there's no way that, oh, Kyrie missed this amount of games, whatever. Look how many games Kawhi has missed, and Kawhi's my guy. At the end of the day, yes, let's say Kyrie has brought media attention, in terms of off the court and stuff like that to the Nets. I still think it's cap, and I still think that there's other people that live like how he lives, but the media don't come. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, that's a different discussion. But again, let's say you want to hold Kyrie accountable. Okay. Let's compare him to another situation that's very similar. Not the noise, obviously Kawhi don't talk, but if you're just talking about, oh my God, he's missed this amount of games in this whole 10-year, let's go look at Kawhi, and let's go see the missed games. Do you get what I'm saying? And yet, he got his extension in the season he was off and injured. And then when he came back, people were like, oh my God, what's going on with Kawhi? He's not playing as much. Obviously, now he ramped it up now, but there was the same, is Kawhi ever going to be playing? That conversation was literally out there. And yet, he still got his extension. No ifs, ands, or buts. Why? Because if you're of that ilk, and you only played, remember, only one major playoffs, the other playoffs he got injured. If you're of that ilk, what are we doing here? AD. You already know they call AD street clothes. And when the extension came, he got the extension, fam. So why is Kyrie any different? And this is what I'm talking about. This is where, again, Kyrie in any other organization situation or any other organization in the same situation, he's going to get that contract extension. It's just the Nets were power tripping. This is why I say you have to look at their front office. They lose James Harden, they lose Kyrie, and now they lose KD. So anyways, that's the context. Once Kyrie felt disrespected and he was out, I already know by association that's KD getting disrespected. He's not staying there. I already knew coming trade deadline, he's about to get traded. If he didn't, I would be surprised. So obviously, because KD has been, more so the soldier that's been doing the load, even when Kyrie and James Harden was out, he's the one who's been, other than his injuries, he's been performing, he's been carrying, he's been playing with whoever, however, don't matter. So obviously, they're going to work with him more so and trade him to where he wants to go, etc. And I already know he wants to go to Phoenix because it makes sense on paper, right? You got Chris Paul, you got D Book, like it's just beautiful. This is why I would say, and then you got Ayton. I was like, this this could potentially be, obviously we know the Warriors was more so the system that was elite, but individually, Steph's not getting you an ISO bucket like that unless it's a mismatch. Clay's not really getting you an ISO bucket. They're getting in movement and relocation, all of that type of stuff with Draymond. But for the most part, out of the big four, Steph, Clay, KD, Draymond, KD's the only ISO guy, which is why they went 7 games with the Rockets, etc. Because they just like, yo, let's let KD ISO as long as they're not getting threes or whatever, and KD's scoring 30s and 40s, but you're in a close game. You know what I'm saying? Because the system stops. They just force you to ISO, just ISO. A lot of teams do that when you just have the ability to switch everything. So that was the counter to the Warriors movement, where you have D-Book who could play like Klay Thompson if he wants to, coming off pin downs, coming off screens. KD could do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? You have other shooters like Shamit and etc. guys that could do that with the Phoenix Suns. But then again, KD could ISO. Then again, D-Book could ISO. D-Book could go to the post. KD could go to the post. Then you could still run PNR and run a system PNR with Chris Paul, and he's doing. So you have multiple things that you could do, which you really couldn't really do with the Warriors, which is why I look at it as this trade is lethal. I think that this could be a dynasty that we could be seeing. You never know, obviously, with, let's say they get rid of Chris Paul, and then now Kyrie free agent goes there as well. That's a dip, bruh. Anyways, what I'm saying is that this could be potential to be elite. Obviously, on paper, they lost a lot. So let's announce the trade, because this is the trade we're going to first start with. We're going to talk about other trades as well, too. We can't talk about all the trades because there's a damn lot of trades, but we're going to talk about the most important that kind of catch y'all eye. So definitely this is the first one we're going to talk about. This shocked a lot of people at 1 a.m., whatever, on Thursday. And, the trade details actually end up being a 4-team trade. Originally, it was just KD and TJ Warren to the Suns. The Nets will receive Mikal Bridges, Cameron Johnson, and 4 picks from Phoenix, unprotected, right? Then it end up expanding. Oh, and Jay Crowder was also going to the Nets, but then now he's going to the Bucks. And then the Pacers are going to get George Hill, Serge Ibaka, Jordan Nwora, 3 future second-round picks from Milwaukee, and then the cash considerations from Brooklyn. So it ends up being a 4-team trade. Juan Pablo Valette is also going to the Nets, so it's a 4-team trade. So the Suns losing Mikal and Cameron Johnson damn well hurts the rotation, obviously, from KD joining the Suns. And, Mikal Bridges being a 3-and-D guy is definitely like not just a 3-and-D guy. He's been improving to the mid-range has been money, and he's been adding more to his bag, especially coming off, pump fake one dribble pulls in the midi and stuff like that, coming off pin downs into the midi. Defense, you already know. I think he should have been Defensive Player of the Year last year. Just the length, the ability to guard 1 through 4, even sometimes the 5, like getting steals, contests, like great switchability, great hands, like the length again, just like his wingspan. Pause. So when you look at it from that perspective, like he's been the supreme 3-and-D, like he's the best version of 3-and-D in the NBA. Him and OGR, right? So, but Mikal is more knockdown, and Mikal just it's more discipline, switchability, less mistakes, defense from Mikal. So when you look at it from that perspective, like obviously losing that, and then you have Cameron Johnson, who again is tall, 6'9", 6'8", whatever he is, sniper, he can get buckets, can create in his own. He hasn't done that as much, but when needed, he has. So he obviously has potential to be even way better. Those two guys, tall wings, like that makes the Suns, that made the Suns outside of D-Book and Chris Paul, right? So the fact that the Suns are losing him, sometimes you have to, like, ideally, if we have Kevin Durant and we still have those guys and Chris Paul, but that's unlikely. That's impossible. Dog, at the end of the day, Mikal Bridges getting flipped for KD because Mikal playing the small forward, power forward, and KD is doing that. I'd rather have KD. Even if you might drop off a bit defensively, it's not too much of a far drop off defensively as much as it is offensively. So you pick you know what I mean? You pick your battles and you pick your poison. So I rather have that. Obviously losing Cameron Johnson affects, but then what's gonna be slept and swept under the rug is the other move that the Suns made. The Suns made another move. They traded Dario Saric to the Thunder. 2029 second round pick and cash considerations, and they got Darius Bazley. If y'all don't know who Darius Bazley is from the Thunder, 6'9", 6'10-ish, 40% from the 3 this year. Obviously not a lot of attempts, but I could see the Suns owner and the Suns GM, sorry, looking from uh, uh, um, James Jones. When you look at from him, you could see that it's like, okay, he definitely is going to be trying to do his best to replace Mikal Bridges by getting Darius Bazley. It's the same thing with the Blazers. A lot of organizations are doing this now. If you have a potential site, you know what worked and you don't want to lose him, but okay, I will willing to trade him for a hella upgrade, even though we could get maybe, even if it's not the exact same version, but not that far off, even if it's a poor man's version, which is still great, of that same guy that we thought was elite fit for our team. We have another younger version of that out there. We'll find him before we even do this. Like they already, perfect examples, the Blazers. When Anthony Simons started snapping, that's kind of what propelled, because again, they were still reluctant to split up CJ and Dame. But once CJ was injured and Dame was injured and Anthony Simons was playing and he was hooping and snapping, they're like, okay, that could be the guy that could play alongside with Dame, that when Dame's out, he obviously now takes the ball handling duties, because again, it's not just snapping, it's snapping while playing point guard. That's what Anthony Simons was doing. He was playing point guard, playing the CJ/Dame role, and it's like, okay, the combo, we play together. You can play off the ball because you can shoot when Dame is here, but when Dame goes to the bench, you're now the point guard. That's exactly, so he could replace CJ, right? Even though it might not be the exact same level, but there is some version of it. So now we're going to do this trade and get a Jeremy Grant. If we can get a two-way Jeremy Grant, who's a two-way, a Mikal Bridges, but with bag version, that's going to even make our team better, because at least the Anthony Simons is still there, but now we have this guy. So it's like, it's a win-win. It's like, it's beautiful. That's the same. I can see the same direction Phoenix is taking, where, we get KD. Damn, we didn't want to lose Mikal, but there's a version of Mikal out there that we just can groom him in that way. He already shoots 40% from the three. He has defense capabilities, as athletic. He's 6'9". He might not have the exact same defensive instincts, obviously, but he's somewhat of that mold, prototype, build, archetype. Let's go bring him in. And I could see that's going to be swept under the rug. But you're going to see, I wouldn't be surprised if Darius Bazley is the one starting, and obviously not TJ Warren, because you want a bucket getter off the bench when KD goes or whatever to play alongside, when one of them is going to play D-Book and KD at all times. So when D-Book is there, maybe now when KD goes to the bench, now TJ Warren comes in. You know what I'm saying? So I would have TJ Warren off the bench and start Darius Bazley, so you have a longer starting five. Only small guys is D-Book, who's not even small. He's 6'6". Is only Chris Paul, then 6'6" above. Right? And you look at it from that perspective, and then you have defense capabilities. Maybe Darius Bazley's guarding the best player. Like I think that you're gonna groom him to be Mikal. That's just my IQ from seeing what they're doing, because that trade was right after the KD trade. So I'm like, okay, I can see what they're doing, right? So when you look at it from that perspective, because you don't want to start Wainwright and a guy who can't shoot and stuff like that, who has defensive capabilities, because you need a defender. You don't want to put the load on KD so much at this point in his career, right? Especially when he's injury prone at times. Not really injury prone, it's just unfortunate injuries that come his way. He needs to put himself in better positions, like he said. Look, when there's a rebound and there's just bare man's in the air, don't go for the rebound in that situation. Like, protect yourself first and then go for the rebound. Instead of just, you're looking up, you're not really going for the rebound, you just look it up, and then Jimmy Butler's literally like this, and he's falling, and you're right there, and you don't even look, and he falls on your leg. Like, stuff like that. Like, look at your vicinity, fam. That's all KD's injuries have been, from those ones after the Achilles one. It's been a man run into his leg, and he's not looking. He's just looking around. Man falls into his leg because he's 6-7 foot, wider stance, so he takes up more ground, hits his leg. Like, Bruce Brown hits his leg. Like, you gotta look, fam. You gotta look. You know what I'm saying? So from that perspective, it's just more so I could see what the Suns are doing. So that's an A+++ trade for the Suns. You got a new big three. You got people are saying it's a super team. It's funny. Y'all gonna say it's a super team, right? But when LeBron was with Cleveland and had K-Love and had Kyrie, they didn't win nothing yet. They're not technically a super team. No, they're not. K-Love is not that. I'm like, dog, y'all are saying Phoenix ain't it. Y'all been saying that D-Book ain't it, Chris Paul ain't it, it's cap. So now that KD's there, now he ran to a super team all of a sudden. Phoenix has no championship, like y'all said, right? Shouldn't it matter? Oh, no, he already went to something established. Why does it matter? They didn't win. They never won, just like y'all said. Just like when LeBron went to Miami, oh, my God, they were bad like this the year before. They never won. Boom, 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 boom. I'm like, dog, even though they went to the finals, y'all are saying the finals run wasn't legit. They just got destroyed by the Mavericks last year. Now y'all gonna say it's a super team. Now y'all gonna say he's chasing. That's funny, yo. Y'all see, you can't. Well, for LeBron, that's because before it wasn't just the talent. Y'all said that it's not just the fact that you stacking talent. It's the fact that where you going, did that team win before? Is there structure built? Y'all saying the structure's not built. You've seen the imploding they had last year. You all saying they went to the finals was luck, clearly, because man, LeBron and them were injured. AD was injured. That's what y'all saying. So he went to a team that hasn't won. They went to the final. The franchise never won. They went to the finals. Y'all said it was luck. They lost to Milwaukee. They got destroyed by Dallas last year. So now he's going there. And now, because of the talent, all of a sudden it's a super team, it's a big three, and he's chasing. Make it make sense, yo. Because everywhere LeBron has went, there's been talent and been big threes. But y'all said because the Lakers, they haven't won nothing yet. He changed it around. It's the Cavs, they haven't won nothing yet. He changed it around. The only one is the Heat. And even then, they didn't win nothing yet. He changed it around. Come on now. Don't move the goalpost. Anyways, we're moving past that. So, anyways, that trade was definitely hella elite. Obviously, you know, it's gonna be hard to turn it around. Well, not hard. I remember KD could play with anybody. You're gonna see. I find it that the more KD goes to certain spots and is still himself and that team maximizes themselves, I think when it's all said and done, KD is it's gonna help his most efficient, most elite scorer to ever play the game. I think all of this is gonna come full circle. You had Team USA, like the fact that he could go wherever, no matter what system, and he's still gonna be himself. Damn near close to 30 points per game. The efficiency never changes. Like those guys are still a elite version of themselves. Like they're not they're not held in a hindered or weakness situation. Like everybody's maximized. That's gonna go the long run. We've seen Westbrook maximize with KD. We haven't seen Westbrook maximize with Bron. We seen Kyrie maximize with KD. We didn't see Kyrie maximize with Bron. He was still a version of it, but he wasn't maximize 50, 40, 90, etc. Y'all gonna say it's gonna be years being comfortable. No. No. KD don't need the ball, so Kyrie has the ball way more. Look, Kyrie did have the ball, but LeBron had to literally like relinquish some because, yo, I need you, Kyrie. So he played off the ball for the most part in his career. That was the most off the ball he played. You get what I'm saying? But it's still not where the on ball that Kyrie should be playing, which is why he never had career years, right? When he went to Boston. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we got to look at it from that perspective. It's wherever KD plays with Harden, he's close to his most maximized version of himself. Obviously, that's a different conversation because he was off the bench or whatever. But when he played with the Nets, he wasn't a shell of himself. You seen the 20, he was averaging 20, 10. You know, his assists was still getting triple doubles still, especially when Kyrie was out still. Like, KD can, there's a maximized version. You're going to always be in that same realm when you play with KD. So that's going to do him justice when it's all said and done. People might not see it now, but in the future, that's definitely going to go the long way and it's going to definitely help things, right? Instead of his all-time great conversation, I think it definitely will. If you're just using IQ and you're paying attention. So for the most part, you know, again, we'll see how it's hard to turn the season around in one at this point in when there's no training camp, you're trading, you know, KD's not going to come back till after the All-Star break. You know what I mean? You're trading guys mid-season, you know, and it's like, again, having to learn the system, but again, a lot of these guys run similar sets and stuff like that. So it's not like you've seen how Kyrie just seamlessly fit in with the Mavs. It's not that of the old age, how it used to be a long process. It's not that of the same in this new era when you have space and when you have teams play very similar PNR. There's only so many sets. Like, you can learn that on the fly. A lot of it is just free flowing. You know what I mean? So for the most part, switchability, like, there's not too many defensive schemes you need to learn. Like, it's easier to transition in this era. So I still think that they're gonna hit the gate running. I don't think it's gonna be like that right out the gate, but it will be. There's gonna be levels. If they hit the gate running, there's still gonna be another level they could get. Only with more familiarity, you're gonna get better and get better and get better. But I think they're gonna come out the gate running in terms of just like, because again, like I said, KD don't really need the ball. It's more so just like, okay, in certain moments of the game, momentum of the game. What sets are we gonna go to? D Book is hot right now. We're gonna give D Book the ball. How we gonna do it? Just getting familiar with each other. Where D Book likes it. KD's getting used to that. But they played together in Team USA. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, dog. I think it's not gonna be as hard as people think it's gonna be. Pause. So when you look at it from that perspective, I do expect greatness out of this. I think that they're the favorites now. Again, it's hard. You rarely see this. But it's the same thing with the Nets, where once they got together with the big three, when they played, they were winning. Versus great teams, versus hard, like they were winning. It was more so that they didn't play as much together, so it affected. But when they played, and when they first got traded, and they were trying to going into that season, they only played what, it was like 12 games together, and they were winning. They slapped the Celtics, and they were about to up 2-0 versus the Milwaukee Bucks, and injury. So there was proof that you didn't need so much time together. People use that. They didn't have time together. That's why it didn't work. That's cap. Those injuries. The less time that they had together, they were still winning when it mattered. Every time. So, I think there's going to be the same situation here. It's just more so health, obviously, because Chris Paul been injured. D Book been injured. KD been injured. So if they could be all healthy together, I think, and then you had Ayton to the mix, like that's not, you know what I mean? Ayton's going to be eating. People think that he's not going to be eating. The double teams off the piano that that KD commands already, that you see how Claxton be eating. Now Ayton actually can post up smaller guys and has a bag. He's going to eat. He can easily average, same thing. He's at 18 and 10, easily. I think he's going to eat even more. So when you look at it from that perspective, man, this is going to be special to watch. So tune in, lock in. You know what I'm saying? Lock in. It's beautiful to see. And we on to the next one, man.